Hello and welcome to our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 65.
This morning we checked out of our room here at Caribbean Beach because it is moving day once again. Packed up all of our stuff, took our small suitcases to the car, and had Bell Services transfer our larger suitcases over to All Star Music. We're going to be staying there for the next few days in a family suite. It is a larger room, only at All Star Music. They have them over at Art of Animation, but none of the other All Stars have them. So kind of a unique category. Looking forward to checking that out, but our room is not ready this morning. They said it would probably be a little bit later when it's ready, so we decided to go on over to Epcot. We drove in there because today is the first day of the International Flower and Garden Festival. We're super excited about it. We're going to spend some time here in the park exploring the festival, trying some of the foods, of course, and then hopefully our room is ready a little bit earlier. We'll be able to go back and do our room tour and then come back to the park for a little bit more festival action tonight.
One of my favorite things about this festival is, of course, how beautiful Epcot is at this time. Flowers everywhere, topiaries, but of course, we are going to try all the food as well.
Absolutely.
Because that is the main part of a festival, no matter which one it is. They all have their themes, but ultimately, they all have great food, and that's what we're going to start with. So we went to the Taste Track booth first, very creative name there, specifically because they have an annual pass holder cookie, and we definitely wanted to make sure we get it. We were afraid they were going to sell out because they only have so many each day. So we went to this booth first to get this cookie and, of course, to try the other snacks there.
Yeah, we had to get the violet blueberry vanilla croissant donut. Super excited about that. I love cronuts. And they also had a berry tea mint julep that looked really good. It was kind of a slushy, so really excited about trying all those things. We ordered all three of them and sat down to try them. Well, I sat down to try them. Alyssa couldn't have pictures. Them. Food coloring is a real problem sometimes with these festivals. So she doesn't like tea, and the mint julep was berry tea mint julep. So I enjoyed it. It was very refreshing. Really liked that one. The cronut was awesome.
That looked beautiful.
Absolutely awesome. It was so pretty, but it tasted so good. I really, really liked this one. It was high on my list to get another one of these later on. And then there was the annual pass holder cookie. Now, we did get an annual pass holder cookie back at the Festival of the Arts, and it was pretty disappointing, I think, cookie. Because it was just a sugar cookie and had fondant on top. This cookie, though, was a chocolate chip sugar cookie that had fondant on top, and then the picture of the pass holder magnet on there. And, yep, it was just about as disappointing as the first one we got. And it was a great, price, $4 for the cookie plus the price of an annual pass. But for $4, I could have gotten a much better cookie, I feel like. So it was pretty, made a nice picture, just wasn't a fan of the pass holder cookie. However, that cronut was amazing.
After Robert enjoyed those treats, I was ready to go. I haven't eaten anything yet, haven't had anything to drink. I'm ready to roll and keep going. So right there at the playground area, we found our very first topiaries of the festival. They had the characters from Toy Story. We got to see Woody, Bo Peep, and Buzz, and of course, they almost look lifelike. Like, it's really awesome, really cool, and a little scary all at the same time.
It's a little creepy how real the topiaries look sometimes. Sometimes not so much, especially depending on how the eyes look, but sometimes they can be kind of creepy.
It is all in the eyes, that's true. We kept walking because we're looking for a booth now at this point. I want food. And we came across Goofy and Pluto. Love them. Amazing topiaries. And we're going to find them all over the park. But the next thing we came across was my very favorite part of the Flower and Garden Festival. There's so many great things about this festival, but the butterfly tent is my absolute favorite. It is beautiful in here. And it's like a dream come true. This is like heaven right here. You walk into a tent and there's just butterflies flying around you and there's beautiful flowers. Like, how can you not love that? It's amazing.
And it was really cool too because they had these little boxes in there where they have all these little cocoons, and you can actually watch the butterflies break out. And they kind of hang there upside down, let their wings spread out and dry. And it's a really cool experience. Of course, it takes quite a bit of time for that to happen. They're brand new right now. No one's really coming out of their shell right now. But later on in the festival, we'll probably have a chance to see a few of them breaking out.
But I was super excited to be there, and I actually forgot about being hungry because I just wanted to spend time in this tent. We did spend a good amount of time here because I just wanted to enjoy it, and I was hoping to get a butterfly to land on my finger. I didn't, but I tried really hard. I was going all over the place. Then we did keep going and we made it to our next food booth. It was the Flavorful Kitchen.
And at this booth, we wanted to try almost everything on the menu. They had lots of good looking food here. They had a citrus poached salmon, so we ordered that. We also got dessert. We got a Mickey shaped peanut butter mousse tart. And we got a couple drinks, neither of which Alyssa is going to try, but that's okay. I got the blood orange aqua fresca, and I also got the cookie butter worms and dirt. It was kind of like a milkshake slash slushy.
I wouldn't want to try that anyway, but I was super happy because I got the salmon, and it was the perfect way to start this festival because it was so good. It was so light and refreshing. I was so happy about this. Oh my goodness, I loved the salmon so much.
It was really, really good salmon. And I'm not normally a big fish person, but that one was delicious. And then she couldn't have the peanut butter mousse tart because in the strawberry jelly they had on top there, they had put the edible glitter, and that tends to be kind of similar to food coloring for her, so she just stayed away from that. I tried it. It reminded me a little bit of the PB&J shooters up at Wilderness Lodge in club level, except they had strawberry jelly instead of grape, and it was a little sweeter because it was a peanut butter mousse instead of real peanut butter, so it was a little more sugary, but it was pretty good. I wouldn't say I'd want to get another one because I don't like to have that much sugar when I'm at the festivals, and just a little tart. I want to have something more adventurous, so that one was okay. The blood orange aqua fresca, though, was incredible. The perfect festival drink for when it's hot. Now, it is chilly today. We're still wearing jackets. It's still a nice, refreshing drink. But when it's hot out, I guarantee you this is going to be a great option when it heats up because the festival goes all the way into May. So it's going to be a perfect one to drink there. And then that brings us to the cookie butter worms and dirt. And I've heard of a few people already raving about this before the festival, those that got to preview it and whatever. So I was kind of curious to try this. It was a worms and dirt, gummies and Oreos and this whole milkshake thing. I don't even know what to say about it. It was weird. It was a strange texture. It was a strange flavor because it wasn't just like Oreo. I was thinking like cookies and cream. It was definitely like a buttery type flavor. Very, very strange. The
face he made when he tried this.
I tried. I couldn't.
I was not at all disappointed that I couldn't try it because it was hilarious.
I could not put my finger on what it was I thought about this, except it's weird. So I ate the gummy worms and moved on with my life because I couldn't do it on that drink.
After that very enjoyable booth, we're ready to move on to the next one, see what else we can find. And we went to the Honey Bistro. We were very excited because I love anything with honey pretty much. So we got the honey cheesecake, which sounded amazing. And we got the honey tandoori chicken flatbread. I was very excited to try this and interested to see what I thought.
It smelled amazing too. I will say that one smelled awesome when we walked up. I also wanted to get a drink here. They have lots of non-alcoholic beverages so far this festival, which I'm really excited about because we don't drink. Alyssa doesn't even drink soda because she can't stand the carbonation. So I enjoy it when I can find some slushies and freezes and special drinks and things at the festival that I can drink. And they've had several so far. This one had a honey peach cobbler freeze that looked awesome, and I'm a big fan of peach cobbler. I grew up in North Carolina. Eating cobbler was kind of one of my go-to desserts, especially peach cobbler. So I was pretty excited to try this one as well as the other food that we ordered.
I was very interested to see what he thought about that because it basically sounded like they put a cobbler in a blender and just said, drink it. So we'll see what he thinks about that. But the first thing we started with was the cheesecake because I really wanted to know if it tasted good, and we're adults, so we can do what we want.
Dessert first.
So we tried the cheesecake. It was so light and it was so good. Not overly sweet like you would think that might happen if they put too much honey and too much sugar. It was incredible. We absolutely loved it. Of course, then we moved on to the flatbread because now we need real food. Also amazing. Very light on the sweetness, which was really nice combination with the chicken in there. It was really good. Definitely a must-have.
I was a big fan of the flatbread. I wasn't expecting to be going into it. I looked at it. I was like, I don't know about that. Big fan of that one. And then my peach cobbler freeze was delicious. Absolutely loved it. So I think this booth overall was a win. So far, we're kind of hitting 3 for 3 on the booths. This is pretty awesome.
Right after stopping at the Honey Bistro, we did get a text that our room was ready. We're not going to head back just yet, but we're kind of going to hurry through and check as much out as we can before going back because we do want to do that room tour before it gets dark. So we passed several more booths. Nothing really stuck out to us that we wanted to try. So we just kind of went by, didn't worry about it. But once we got to the UK, they didn't have a food booth there, but they had a ton of topiaries.
Yes, they did.
They had Hook and Pan. They had Winnie the Pooh and Friends. They had Bambi and Friends. They were just all over the place.
Ton, and they were all so pretty. They did such a good job with them. I think finding the topiaries is one of my top things at Flower and Garden.
It's kind of like a scavenger hunt.
I know you love the butterfly booth, and I do too, but the topiaries are amazing. It's just so much fun. And we did keep going past the UK into France, and in France they actually had more topiary as well. They had Belle and Beast dancing there by the fountain. Always a good job on that one. Very pretty. And here in France, they also had some of my personal favorite topiaries this year. They had Miss Piggy there in her dressing room with her mirror set up, and they had Kermit the Frog on his bike. It was so cool to see the Muppets represented at the festival. I feel like they're so underrepresented in the parks anyway. Really happy to see them there as
It was
topiary.
a really detailed topiary, especially like Miss Piggy and the whole everything she had. It was really impressive, and it was so unexpected, and that was part of the reason we loved it, because that's the Muppets, right? They're so unexpected, you never know what's going to happen in a show. And here they are, sitting in France for whatever reason.
Yeah, I still don't understand why they were in France. I was trying to put that one together. Maybe Miss Piggy wanted to go to Paris. Who knows? I don't know. That's okay. We kept walking on through the countries looking for more topiaries, looking to see if there's any food that really jumps out at us. At this point, we've eaten and we've kind of been walking, so our food's settling. We're not really hungry anymore, so it's got to be something like the perfect thing that jumps out if we're going to get something. And as we passed through Morocco, we came across a booth that had festival merchandise.
Woo!
So of course we had to stop and take a look for a few minutes and do a little bit of shopping, a little bit of browsing, not actually purchasing anything.
It's the first day. I mean,
you don't need to buy anything yet. At least that's what we tell ourselves. You don't need to buy anything yet. In reality, some things do sell out the first day. I still don't have some of the hats that I wanted to get because I waited and I didn't learn my lesson the first time. Always get the Disney merch the first time you see it if you want it, because that's the number one rule of Disney merch. But that's okay. We're not following that today. We're just browsing. We're going to look at the festival merch. We're going to move on through the countries looking for more topiaries. And we actually made it all the way to Germany before we saw the next one. And this one was Snow White.
It's so impressive how much they put into these topiaries. I mean, look at the dress that Snow White's wearing. It's amazing, and it's totally full and spread out. I love that so much. We did keep going past Germany and made it over to see the Lion King topiaries. Those are just a staple. They're always going to be there. I love them. And that's probably the one that most people take pictures at. I see more people at that topiary than any of the others.
Because everyone wants to recreate Rafiki holding up Simba, you know?
Every time.
Everyone has to do that.
We made it all the way to Mexico, where we got to see the 3 caballeros as topiaries, and I really like them because they just look so happy. Like, of all the topiaries, they have the biggest smiles, in my opinion. We kept on going to the Odyssey because this is where the real shopping happens. We got to see a sampling of the merchandise throughout the countries, but this is where you go to actually spend money.
Yeah, they've got everything here. If it exists for the festival, it's here in the Odyssey for this one. And we looked around at so much merch. I feel like they really went overboard for Flower and Garden this year. They've got everything from shirts to hats to mugs that we absolutely fell in love with.
Oh my goodness, these mugs were awesome because they basically looked like flower pots, but they were actual mugs that you could use. And they were just so amazing. I don't know why we love them so much, but both of us really love them.
They were just adorable. They're pass holder mugs, so they're exclusive for pass holders. It was great. They had tons of water bottles and pens and magic bands and Dooney and Burke purses.
This is actually where I found a Dooney and Burke purse that I loved so much. There hadn't been one at this point that I really, really loved and would have actually spent the money on. This was the first time that happened, because this Dooney and Burke had butterflies on it for the Flower and Garden Festival, but the butterflies had designs on them based on Disney characters. And it was one of those really subtle things that unless you actually look at the butterflies, you wouldn't even realize that's what it is. And I loved how subtle it was. It wasn't like in your face Disney, but we didn't get it because I was afraid it would get destroyed. If you're gonna spend that kind of money on a Dooney and Burke, you don't want to just shove it in a suitcase every time you're moving rooms. And we go to the park so much, I was afraid something would happen to it. So we didn't get it. I will put this caveat in here. Robert did buy it for me for Christmas this year, so I do have it now, and I love it so much.
But it took her almost 2 years to get it because, well, I had to track one down on eBay and find one because we didn't buy it while we were there. Again, number one rule of Disney merch: if you see it and you want it, you've got to buy it.
But it would have been
go
destroyed at this point. At least now I can take care of it in our home.
Yeah, it worked out better in the end.
After spending way too much time in there shopping, we actually didn't buy anything. We headed out and came across the Arbor, and this did have something that stuck out to us, and it seemed like a really good ending to the festival before we leave. It was a mixed berry buttermilk cake with apple cider sorbet.
Sounded amazing, looked amazing in the picture.
And it looked like something that would be not too heavy as an ender, but a nice sweet treat at the end. It was definitely worth it, and we were so glad we got it.
It was one of our favorites from the day. I mean, everything we had was good, pretty much, except the worms and dirt. That was weird. But most everything was pretty good. But that one was a nice kind of way to wrap everything up. So I was really happy with that. We started heading out of the park. We did stop in the land, though, because in the land, down at Sunshine Seasons, they always have a seasonal cupcake. We wanted to see what it was for this festival. We didn't buy it, but it was a honeybee there on top of a cake. It was a spice cake, and it had the cream cheese frosting and honey and a little bee up on top of it. It was really cute, but, you know, we've had plenty of sweets. We don't need a cupcake on top of that.
We headed out of the land and made it to the front of the park because we are going to go to our new resort now. We're heading to All Star Music, to that family suite. We've never seen what these look like before, never stayed in one, so we're really curious to see the layout there and how everyone can fit in the room. So we drove over there. Of course, we got there and did our detail pictures, our 360 pictures, and then, of course, went live on Facebook for that room tour.
So we've got a couch here, as well as a chair with an ottoman, and then this room does have 2 bathrooms and a kitchenette. So this is a pull-out couch, which I'm fairly certain is queen size. It's a standard pull-out sofa that Disney has with the kind of memory foam mattress thing going on. And then the chair is a pull-out chair as well. So you have a pull-out twin hiding inside the chair. And then, believe it or not, the ottoman is also a fold-out bed. They just kind of made this little ottoman topper to go on the fold-out bed. Thought that was pretty clever. Now, I will say, I'm going to back it up so you can see the room here. This room does get a little bit crowded when you pull out the bed inside the sofa and the bed inside the chair and the bed inside the ottoman. And if you'd like to watch that entire room tour, it is linked down in the description below and up above. We also have been back to All Star Music since the recording of this room tour, and they have updated those rooms and refurbished them, and we have a video of the brand new refurbished rooms as well. I'll link that one down below as well. Oh my goodness. The difference it made when they refurbished the rooms is night and day, because we didn't really love the family suite when we stayed there. It was just really cramped. It was kind of 2 hotel rooms put together. They opened up the middle door, basically added a kitchenette instead of the space they had there for kind of the closet area. And it was fine in the master bedroom side of things with the bathroom, but once you got into that living room area, got really crowded because there was a couch that pulled out into a bed, and then a chair that pulled out into a twin-size bed, and then the ottoman kind of unfolded into this twin-size bed, and it filled the room with beds. And there was really no room to move around. The beds weren't super comfortable because they were just this really thin mattress pad. So weren't really big fans of that one, even though we were here taking pictures of it. The actual bedroom we stayed in was fine. I don't know if I'd want to stay there with anyone besides little kids at that point. But like I said, they've remodeled it since then, and the new rooms are 10 times better than they used to be.
They are, and one of the coolest things I think about this room at the time was the fact that they figured out how to make an ottoman into a bed.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
We couldn't figure out where the final bed was. We looked all over the room, and finally we realized that the ottoman that we were sitting on trying to figure out where the other bed was that bed. And it was like this magic trick pulling it out, you know, like a rabbit out of a hat, here it comes. So that was very creative on the Imagineers' part, very inventive there, but we are very glad that they're remodeling them and changing the layout so that it's a lot more conducive for families, easier to get around, and it just looks so good now.
Once we were done with that room tour, we went back over to Epcot because we want to make it for the Garden Rocks concert series tonight. They have Journey, former lead singer Steve Augeri singing tonight. We like some Journey, so we're going to go and check that out and see the concert. But before we go to the concert, we're going to stop by and get some food because it's dinner time. We're kind of hungry now. We've been running around. We're going to stop at the Smokehouse, which is in America, and it's the most America booth we've ever seen. It's just a bunch of smoked meats.
Yep.
They have a pulled pork slider, they have a burnt ends and pork belly slider, they have a chopped brisket dish, which is actually kind of like a twice-baked potato with brisket on top, and they have a warm chocolate cake with a bourbon caramel sauce. It all looks so good, we couldn't decide what to get, so we just got it all.
Because why not? And everything he just said is like the most American meal you've ever heard.
Yep.
Like seriously, they were like, meat, we got it. Here you go. Any type you want. So we did get that and then got our seat for the Garden Rocks concert series. And it was really nice because it worked out. We could sit there, enjoy our meal, and we did live stream this concert series on Facebook.
Put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Journey, former lead vocalist Steve Jerry.
As you can see, that concert was a lot of fun and the crowd got pretty into it with some of those songs. We did link the entire concert down in the description below as well as up above. And while we were there in the concert, like she said, we were eating those snacks the whole time. I'm kind of doing it with one hand while I'm trying to live stream with the other. And they had really nailed it with the barbecue. This new Smokehouse thing they had set up, the big smoker they had, did a great job. There was nothing of the food there that we didn't like. It was just difficult trying to figure out what did we like better because it was all amazing. I think the consensus came out to the brisket on the half potato was the favorite because it had different flavors in there with the potato and the other stuff, the cheese and everything on top. It was different. And
I mean, I love anything with a potato, so it's really hard to say that wasn't my favorite. But all three seriously were amazing, and it really was hard to decide, like, oh, this one was our favorite, or we'd get this one again. We wanted all of them again. There was no, like, oh, we wouldn't get that one. But the chocolate cake was a nice ender as well, because you have, like, this really heavy meat, then you have this nice sweet cake at the end. So it was really enjoyable to eat during this concert series. Between how lively that was and enjoying this food, it was a really good ending to the night.
It really was. So we headed back over to All-Star Music to wrap it up and stay the night there, and that is the end of our day. So we will see you tomorrow
for our Year with the Ears.